seriously popular.
Welcome to The Life of You, where we tackle your dilemmas and explore the solutions to life's trickiest moments. Today, we're focusing on a topic that affects so many of us, but often gets overlooked: hormonal health and its impact on our mental and physical well-being. I'm joined by Eleanor Morgan, psychotherapist, journalist, and author of Hormonal, a conversation about women's bodies, mental health, and why we need to be heard.
The whole process of working out who you are, how to be in a social world, is pushing boundaries, learning what boundaries are. And that is all learnt within the family system, usually.
Today, Rachel is sick and tired of being dismissed by her doctor, and Lucy is looking to break the cycle of awkward period chats as she figures out how to talk to her daughter without the blushes. All of your questions answered right after this.
This episode is brought to you by MeUndies. While MeUndies can't totally help your love life this Valentine's Day, they can offer you insanely comfy undies and loungewear to buy or gift. MeUndies has so many awesome Valentine's Day prints and styles. Plus, you can match with your partner, friends, or even your pets. This Valentine's Day, give the gift that'll keep them thinking of you and score huge site-wide savings at MeUndies.com/Spotify. That's MeUndies.com/Spotify. MeUndies. Comfort from the outside in.
Hey Atlanta, Apple is open for small business. That's right. We're here to make starting and running your business simpler. With privacy and security built in on all devices, it's easy for you to protect your customers' data. And if you need hardware or software support, you'll get advice from business experts at no cost whatsoever. So you can focus more on the soup du jour and less on, the other stuff. At Apple, we're open for your small business. Go to apple.com/small business or visit an Apple store to learn more.
Right, this one is from Rachel, and she says, I've been experiencing debilitating pelvic pain and extreme fatigue, but every time I visit the GP, I'm told it's just stress or that I need to take painkillers. It's been over 2 years and I feel invisible. How do I push for the help I need when I feel like my concerns aren't being taken seriously? I'm sure that's one that you've heard before.
So many times. And it never gets any less rage-inducing. I mean, find a different GP.
You can do that. People forget that you can do that.
People forget that you can be self-governing in the NHS. If you don't like your GP, you can ask to see someone else. You can change to a different GP surgery. You can advocate. We're talking about having to withstand discomfort, and that's awful. It's horrible to find yourself in a situation where you're having to argue with a doctor. It's horrible. But unfortunately, I think we do have to self-advocate a lot. And debilitating pelvic pain and extreme fatigue is not normal. It is not, I have a difficult relationship with the word normal, as you can imagine, but this person should not be going through the world with that level of pain. That shouldn't be happening. So it's unfortunate that it has to fall to her to kind of get the attention that she needs. And I mean attention in the most fulsome way. It needs attention. I would say it's really unfortunate, isn't it? But keep arguing or go with someone who can argue for you.
That's a really good piece of advice. And I also wondered if there are, people listening, you go into that GP surgery and you have, 10 minutes,
Yeah.
What would be your advice if you're perhaps lacking in confidence, how to really push this forward and refuse to take no for an answer?
It's so hard. You can take someone with you. There are no laws about going into a GP appointment with someone else who can argue better or, more confidently for you. Doing your own research is useful. I mean, doctors, in my experience, hate it, some. I should caveat that. When you come in and you are Dr. Google with all of your own stuff. But with everything we've talked about today and the reality of medical misogyny looks like for people, it looks like being dismissed. It looks like having your confidence in trying to get help completely evaporating. It's really hard to say to someone, well, just be more confident, just keep pushing. But it can be helpful to go in with a script, I think, of this is how I feel this amount of time. I can't live like this. And I need to be referred to a specialist. And
keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place. For changes big and small. Loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
I think I just won my taxes.
Yeah?
I just switched to H&R Block in about 1 minute. All I had to do was drag and drop last year's return into H&R Block, and bam, my information is automatically there.
So I don't have to go digging around for all my old papers to switch?
Nope.
Sounds like we just leveled up our tax game.
Switching to H&R Block is easy. Just drag and drop your last return. It's better with Block.
The second listener question is on periods and parenting. My teenage daughter has just started her period and she's already overwhelmed by the pain and emotional ups and downs. I want to support her without projecting my own difficult experiences with menstruation. How can I help her feel empowered about her cycle and manage her symptoms in a healthy way? And that is from Lucy, who I think there's so much, isn't there, tied
There's
up.
so much there.
I find it quite wild that, like, if I think of how girls today are entering menstruation compared to how we were, you know, like, even just I go into public toilets and there's like free tampons and sanitary towels. I'm like, wow, this is amazing.
I would have been like a giggly mess. Like, I went to the toilet here and there were tampons in there. I would have been like...
But also it's like, I think that it's... Personally, I think that if your daughter is overwhelmed by the emotional ups and downs and the pain of it and finding it all like really cringe, that's okay as well, because it's a massive change in your life.
It's huge. That last bit there, how can I help her feel empowered about her cycle and manage her symptoms in a healthy way? I'm sorry, Lucy, but there is a bias there. There is a projection there. What does that mean? What does healthy mean? I think, and I know that this will come with such loving, caring, thoughtful intention. I really know that. But there is a bias. There is a projection of something. And it might be useful for Lucy to think about what that is. You know, why does she...
We are going to have lovely periods.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to, you know, I would like to have crawled into a fucking hole.
I still do.
It's true.
Often.
But also, I feel like this is a mistake I think we often make as adults is, and especially, and I think in parenting, is wanting everything to be just fine. Everything needs to be happy. And if it isn't, and if my child isn't happy, and if they aren't, you know, hunky-dory, then I fucked up.
Yes.
And that's not, in itself, is not a helpful mechanism, because actually humans, in all their glory, they go through emotional ups and downs.
Absolutely. And in the space of, you know, 1 hour, you can have a whole weather system of emotions. And I mean, I don't have children yet. That may change soon. But in my experience, and certainly the way that I've been taught and the bits of work that I've done with children, is the more you can meet a young person exactly where they are, the more kind of contained they will feel, the more safe, and that what they're experiencing makes sense, and that they don't have to try and find another way of being because it makes mum feel more comfortable.
Yeah. But also to strip out the conditioning that you had as a child.
You can't do that. I think the only power we have, and this kind of, you know, it makes me think about my work as a therapist. I can't deny all of the conditioning and biases that I come into a room with someone, but I can be curious about what they are, and I have to be curious about what they are, because if something is triggered in me by someone, I need to know what's happening. What is that touching in me? What from my past is that kind of scratching at that's making me feel annoyed? Or
I also think it is really important to know that it's, you know, it is often not about you, Lucy. We sound really harsh.
Sorry,
like,
Lucy.
Yeah, but like, because it's very easy, I think, to think, I think that teenagers generally, they will be moody and they will,
oh my God,
and
they
will
have to be.
behave as if they hate you. And that is their right.
It's such an important developmental thing in the whole process of working out who you are, how to be in a social world, is pushing boundaries, learning what boundaries are. And that is all learnt within the family system, usually. So teenagers are supposed to be narcissistic assholes. They just are.
And allow them to be that without shaming them for it.
Yeah, their moods. You know, I remember recently in a restaurant a few months ago sitting next to this mum and her daughter, and the daughter was being so vile to her mum. Every kind of bid her mum made for connection, she was like, "Mum, can you just shut up? Like, I cannot talk to you right now," and was being so vile. And the mum was kind of sat there, was like, "Okay, yeah, fine, okay," and didn't rise to it, didn't kind of take the bait. And I was like sat there feeling offended myself, you know, these complete strangers. They brought the food out and this teenage girl, she must have been like 14, 15, ate like, you know, a trough of food, which I love to see, love it. And it was like she woke up and then they were laughing together and they were kind of taking the piss out of each other. And I found it so beautiful that the mum, there's a real like strength of character to that, to not take it personally. This young woman, girl, teenager, whatever we want to say, was starving and was, you know,
acting up because of
acting up. But what might have happened if, you know, if it was risen to and they were arguing really, you know, intensely over the table? I don't think I'm talking about wrongs or rights here. It's just if you just kind of allow them to go through what they're going through without interfering too much. But I know it's a kind of Herculean effort because it's so hard to be around. But yeah, I found that really gorgeous that the mum just kind of let it happen.
And maybe Lucy, just think about how you would have liked to have been parented when you were that age.
Yeah.
See it as like a really awesome opportunity to do some inner child healing.
Well, quite. I mean, when you become a parent, you meet yourself as a kid as well.
A huge thank you to Eleanor Morgan for joining me and sharing her wisdom on hormonal health and the power of understanding our bodies. If this conversation resonated with you, please share it with someone who might need to hear it. And don't forget to hit follow and leave us a review. It helps more people discover these important conversations. As always, take care of yourself and I'll see you on Monday.